Today, I decided to record another video in this crazy, unprecedented season with COVID-19. I live in the state of Indiana. Today, our governor and those who lead public education announced that schools, students, K through 12 students, will not return to school buildings for the school year, and they will finish up their school year with remote learning to a degree. And many other states have already done this. Many other states will, some may not. But today was a real sad household in our house. We have a middle school student, a high school student, somebody who teaches in the middle school, works in the middle school, and myself, who is passionate about serving in and being in the schools and is very involved in the high school. And so there's been a lot of tears for different reasons. Around here today, there'll be more tears to come. We had to have drive-through ice cream therapy today, and some Chick-fil-A for dinner to go to help a little bit. But I began thinking about a lot of things as I knew this may be coming. And this is hard on students. This is really hard on teachers. We underestimate that. They may be the saddest that I know today. Hard on administrators, staff, but most of all, of course, our high school seniors. And in our school district in particular, I've had the privilege of getting to know this group and enjoy this group immensely. And so my heart breaks for them as a dad. My heart breaks for them. I just can't begin to imagine. And so I wanted to reflect a little bit on this experience. Again, this is crazy. There's no basis for comparison. In my lifetime, in my parents' lifetime, probably even in my grandparents' lifetime. And we've got to understand that students, kids, students, high school students even, can't fully process this developmentally. To be honest, I'm not sure we adults can fully process it. That those of us that are doing well still have our really hard moments, and some of us are struggling deeply. And uncertainty is really hard. Isolation is really difficult, not just for extroverts, but for everyone. I'm an extrovert and thinking about starting to talk to the trees. It's a challenge, and it challenges our desire for independence and freedom, our need for control. And that's really difficult. And what's happening in this process, and what will certainly be happening for students, for teachers, for communities, is grief. Grief is the heart's way of healing. Much as if I were to cut my arm, my body does certain things to heal. Things I notice, things I don't. Things that are pain-free, things that are painful. Grief is the heart's way of healing. And I always tell people, you've kind of got to let grief happen to you, which is counterintuitive for us as human beings. We don't like to do that. One moment we are in shock, another denial, another we're laughing, another we're in tears, another we're numb. And sometimes all that happens in the same hour. But we've got to allow grief to happen to us. It's okay to grieve. It's okay to not be okay. Give yourself permission to grieve. Give others permission to grieve. Parents, you can model grief to your children. It's actually one of the only times I tell people to be a little selfish. We try to hold it together for others, and that's not to say as parents we should, display all of our uncertainty, all of our hot mess to our kids, but our kids need to see us grieve, and it's a time to be selfish to show our kids how to grieve. That this is a big deal. And not just the school piece, all of this and the things that are to come. We just don't know. And so there's going to continue to be grief, and we've got to allow that grief to happen. Where do we go from here? I think we really do have to take one day at a time. Even that feels like too much. We've got to listen to the rules that the medical professionals, often through the government, are giving us. That there is no economy, there is no amount of freedom or independence that is worth many people's lives. We would never sacrifice our beloved grandmother or even our pet to have a little more economic certainty or to be able to go where we want when we want. Um, Support those around you, support administrators in schools, support teachers, support neighbors, support your family, your friends. Show support. This is absolutely exhausting. And if you think you feel uncertain, the weight of all of these students and all of these families is so significant. So support our educators, support our community leaders. Love well. Love your neighbors well, love your friends well, love your coworkers well, love your family well. You can do that with social distancing. You can do that with technology. I had a conversation on my walk in yards with neighbors more than 6 feet away, and was able to do that. That you can call, you can text, you can email. Sometimes you're close enough you could shout across the yard, right? To love well, to check in on people. Don't assume people know what to do. Don't assume that people have somebody to talk to, have everything that they need. Don't assume people know the resources for food, for other things. Check in on people. We need each other more than ever. We can't do this alone. And if we've learned anything from being quarantined, how much we rely on and need contact with each other. So just as you grieve, walk with others as they grieve, check in on people and see what they need. I'm here as a resource. I'm doing this because I feel called. And certainly if you want to reach out to me, please feel free. If I can help in any way, I'm glad to help. But these are unprecedented times. I don't know what to make of it. My head is spinning, and as I talk to school administrators, pastors, government leaders, business owners, parents, we're all in this same boat, and we're going to be better together. We're going to do this much better together. And there is good news, there is hope, there's opportunity in all this. But it has to be okay to grieve. We have to give ourselves permission to grieve the craziness, the loss, whether it's school, jobs, certainty, routine of this season, and to be there for one another. My prayer is that in the midst of this ugliness that is just life, that good will come. And part of my hope is that that can come from caring for one another. Reach out if you know any high school seniors, send them a card, reach out to them, check in on them, uh, their parents. Check in on your neighbors. Today, somebody came in, stood social distance, and took a picture of our family on our porch, and they've been going around the community and doing that. There are so many little things you can do with safety and honoring the guidelines to help one another. We need each other. Just remember, it's okay to not be okay. It's okay to grieve, but love well, serve well, and know that this will. We don't know when, but this will be over. And in the meantime, let's care for one another the best we can.